Hi, and welcome to Solo Parenting, the show for all single parents, whether you're a mom or a dad, divorced, widowed, or never married, custodial or visitational. I'm Cynthia McGregor, and with me this week is my guest, Sean Kelly, and as always, Michelle Stern, psychotherapist, Julie Dimawat with money-saving hints and tips, Leah Gizzi, and our Parent Talk panel, and we're off and running.
Parenting, it's life's toughest job under any circumstances, but even harder when you're doing it on your own. Now, from Cynthia McGregor, Solo Parenting. It's the book you need. How do you handle it when there just aren't enough hours in the day to do it all by yourself? What do you do when you run into your ex at the school play and he's got his new girlfriend with him? How do you help your kids understand that even though you and Daddy no longer love each other, you will always love your kids? This marvelous book is available for all popular e-readers or read it right on your computer. It costs just $4.99. Go to the web address on your screen and order your copy now.
Our guest is Sean Kelly of the Guardian Angels, which is ramping up a campaign against bullying, currently a growing problem for kids. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Sean, why is it particularly relevant to children of solo parents? Why is bullying more of a problem for them?
Well, I'll just put it this way, that most of the people I'm encountering with their stories or their situations of occurrence is from women, single moms. And they're asking for the education or the resources on how to arm their children, either going to school or playgrounds, about self-protection, let it be on the physical side, or just a vocabulary of standing up for themselves because of the threats, and now it's gotten to the point of violence.
How widespread is this problem?
Global.
Global.
It's global. It's all over the world.
Not just local,
No,
not just
it is
in the
global.
United States.
I've been just this year alone in Canada, San Diego, Chile, because I'm an international martial arts instructor, and the same topic comes up everywhere I go.
Now, you're with the Guardian Angels. What are the Guardian Angels doing to combat bullying?
Well,
I know you're involved in... Yeah, go ahead.
There's a couple different topics of bullying. It could be even with the internet, which is now the growing one, cyber bullying and threats. But the Guardian Angels, as an all-volunteer organization, basically is developing leadership programs, role models, kids screening and policing kids. You know, like in our school system, we have the Explorer program and other safety patrol programs. Why not have Guardian Angels, where we have a group of kids who want to learn leadership skills and how they too can be involved by being no more than just a deterrent or the extra eyes and ears to their teachers or to the counselors, or even go to their parents and saying these situations do occur. And that's what happened here even locally on a personal level.
Now, what can a parent do, especially a single parent, a solo mom, what can she do to help her child if the child is being bullied?
I suggest starting to communicate and talk about it. And I had met a young lady. She developed a game, and it's called the Bullying Jar. Her name is Jeannie Dexter. And what she simply said was, this program that she's developing, this little thing right here, it's a plastic jar, but inside of it is literature to start talking about the telltale signs.
And how does it work? Tell us.
Well, it's a class in itself, but it starts off with a questionnaire of so many questions, and you start talking about these things. First of all, last Friday I was in Bradford, Pennsylvania. We had over 100 people attend this event and ask the very same question. How do I get involved? How do I start this? First thing to do is, in a classroom setting, is ask the children, do you know what a bully is? And the youngest child that was in this class that we had was 5 years old, and their hands went up. So that means at 5 years old, they already can identify what a bully is. And it's always the same story. He or she picks on me, teases me, calls me names, those kind of things. And you come back with, well, is it a nice person? No, they're mean. Where did this happen? And they start giving us data of information, and so that when they share that with us, we're going to address it to wherever that may be.
What do you have anything that you're doing about the bullies themselves? Do you attack the problem by dealing with the bullies in any way?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's in a state right now, from place to place, it's different. We're dealing with what we call internal politics too, because a lot of the schools don't want to acknowledge that there's situations here, okay? Yes, there is, and I can prove that. Number two, we want to work with them. It's also been brought to our attention by a local principal. He admitted, to be honest with you, we don't know how to deal with this. We've never encountered it in such a way my staff or my facilitators know the telltale signs to be involved with this. So they too are looking for the education. I think that's where we can come in and help this and network with this.
Now, the Guardian Angels are known for combating urban crime. How did they get involved with bullying?
People started calling in and requesting. And what happened in New York, it's now in the school system that they're teaching programs in the system of the schools about leadership programs, and Curtis Sliwa just is developing young role models to be civic-minded. We need people to involve themselves and be involved with community service. Those are just good deeds. And that's what we need to do, get them out of the house and go help others.
Is the Guardian Angels anti-bullying program resulting in more people joining the Guardian Angels?
Yes, they are. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would see more Guardian Angels, not only up in New York, but in the subways, or here in Palm Beach County, where we're out more seen in the streets. We're going into the classroom setting. We want to go more now into a different generation, and that is becoming educators. Support group is what it comes down to. We're a support group. So if it's places like this who allow us to sit down and network and share by communicating, we need to do that. We need to speak up.
When I used to live in New York many years ago, I remember the Guardian Angels there at the time. I was an admirer of them even then, and I admire the work you're doing. It's a good thing that you're doing.
I got involved August 16th, 1986, here in Palm Beach County because of a little girl, 7 years old, who had been playing ball in her yard or out in her street area in West Palm Beach, 10th and Tamron area. And she got caught in the crossfire of some gangs over just being at the wrong place, the wrong time. And it usually takes a crisis before we all do something. I did something. I stepped up because one of the things to be involved with the Guardian Angels is martial arts training. Well, I was a martial arts school owner and I volunteered my time. And since that date, I've been involved. Now as a person who speaks on behalf of the Guardian Angels, not only as a consultant, but someone who cares about others. And that's the idea now, is to reach as many as we can. Everybody should be wearing a shirt and a beret. Because if you have a caring heart, and it doesn't even have to be your child, we need to look out for these children. And that's the thing.
Does a person need to know martial arts to be a Guardian Angel?
Not necessarily, only because we have different levels of how to be a Guardian Angel. We actually had in Texas a senior citizen group, and all they did is drive in their car like a crime watch group. So it's fitted to the situation. And we have patrols of the street. We have the Junior Guardian Angel program. They're now having a Cyber Angel situation, which is now monitored out of New York. There are so many subcategories. Everybody can do this.
Talk to me about cyberbullying.
I'm not as educated in the details other than the very fact, like, for example, Facebook, MySpace. This texting thing has gotten to the point now, it's a form of an act of terrorism if one goes after another in such a derogatory way or harassment. It's gotten to the point now with these open social media that we have predators out there, okay, and they're going after our children. And this case has been to a point where I know, locally speaking, there was a young girl who was 14 years old. She was bullied to the point where she tried to commit suicide. That was one. Because of that, she went on her Facebook or something of that sort and befriended someone. She became friends with somebody, and the next thing you know, we found out that this person she was friends with ends up being a male, comes to her home, and she was raped. So we need to educate our children about that. Innocence needs to have a reserve, and we need our parents to monitor their children. Monitor them.
What can a child do? I mean, if a parent who's watching this has a child who is being bullied or who fears being bullied, even if it's not happening yet, what can that child do to protect herself or himself?
Call me.
And where do they reach you?
They can reach me at 561-234-9377.
Want to repeat that?
Yes, 561-234-9377. And that's the Guardian Angel local number. And what we're doing is going around and we're lecturing. We're trying to find a database of the types of concerns so we can categorize these things. We're trying to build a support group. With that support group, it allows the resources, based on what you're saying, where do we go, who do we talk to? We want them to have a place to go and just change that energy from negative to a positive, and to put them in the climate of people, even complete strangers, that there are people who care about you regardless if you know them. We need to get them out of the house, okay? And these things got to go. These are no more than modern day pacifiers. See, it used to be one thumb in the mouth. Now they're doing this. Got to rid that. We need connection.
Are there more girls being bullied or more boys being bullied?
Look at YouTube. It's now a trend. They start fights at school, they videotape it, and now it's being put on our YouTube. And if they're under the age of 18, that's against the law. So they don't even know. This is one of the things we educate our children about. By the way, doing that, following the trends, okay, be very careful because law enforcement will knock on your door.
We're running out of time, Sean. Thank you very much, Sean
Thank
Kelly
you.
of the Guardian Angels, for being here.
I appreciate it.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.